Kia ora, New Zealand. Welcome to Sweet Chain Live. This is episode 8 of the show. We've got a good show for you today. We're going to go through hot scores. It's also ratings week. So if you had a ratings push, then we'll see what happened there. We want to talk about the women's global event. So if you're not quite sure what that is, then we'll go through that a little bit later on. And also there's been a little bit of a discussion about BTs that's come up, and we'll be talking a little bit like that. I'll be joined a little bit later by Brady Cush, who will be talking to us about all sorts of things, Discmania sponsorship, and also what's been going on post Middle-earth. We'll also be going through some upcoming events. So without further ado, let's get on to the hot scores. Just before we start, I've had a lot of people reach out to me and ask, hey, can you put my local course onto your announcement? And the answer is yes and no. The way I chose originally the courses was I picked the 10 best courses, the 10 most played courses in New Zealand. I reached out to UDisc, and who gave me the information. And then I also added in the courses around Wellington that weren't included on the list. So because they're close to me, and that's what I like to do. I also added in some other courses along the way. But each week I look at whether a course has been played a lot in that week. And if it hasn't, it's less likely to get a mention. With that in mind, I'll also run through, there's a new course that's going to get a mention tonight, so see if you can spot it. Okay, starting off down south in Invercargill, Ethan Stout has been out on the course. If you have a look at the results, he accounts for about the top 10 scores in Invercargill this week. 15 down is his best for the week, so well done to Ethan. Cross to Dunedin, and it's Team Sweet Chain's Andrew Fleming with 6 down, who was pipped by Cameron Mackey, shooting 7 under par at Chingford. Queenstown Gardens, hot score for the round for this week, was Akira Kuro with 9 under par, closely followed by Roberts Crestins at 8 under par. If you're over in Tucker Beach this week, then you may have seen Mikey Yu shoot 9 under par. He'll be pleased with that. And up to Wanaka, Matt Pritchard and Nick Steenson took out the honours with 1 under par apiece. Over to Lismore, Ryan Cambridge, regular on the show, with 9 under par, and Billy Goldsmith with another good score of 8 under. Across to Christchurch, and some pretty big competition here. You had Phil Botter with a 9 under, Jeremy Brockenshire with 10 under, and Ashton Clark making the Discmania trialist team with 11 under par. Across to Queen's Park Reserve, and it's 2 other of the Discmania applicants, with Zach Taylor and Willie Taratana both hitting 7 under. And as we go up to the capital, it doesn't change. Brady Cush with 7 under par. Incredible round, equaling the course record for this year. And over to Hikoikoi, where we see Aaron Neal on 3 under, and a big up to Jacques Dewal for hitting 5 under par at Hikoikoi. Not a mean feat. He did that earlier on today. That was a fantastic round. Up to Upper Hutt, and it's Scott Woodhouse with a +1. If you haven't already, check out Woodhouse Disc Golf. He's got a YouTube channel where he's been doing a lot of filming and some really good output, so check that out. Heading up to Palmerston North, and it's Team Sweet Chain's Jack Ryan with the hot round of the week with 6 under par, and Joel Simpson with a good showing at 4 under as well. Across to Inglewood, Conor McKinstry and Trevor Woolman locked horns with +4 each. And at McLaren, Nicholas McCauley managed to go par for the course. Up to Rosedale, and Werry took out the honours with a 2 under par. And on the Woodhill Red Tees, it was Jeff with a score of +4. So well done to everybody who shot a hot round this week. As you've probably noticed, it's also ratings day, or at least it was ratings day on Wednesday, yesterday. So going through the top 10 rated MPO players in New Zealand, First place, Simon Feasey holds on to first place despite a 3-point rating drop to 990. Ben Wheellake moves 3 places up to second thanks to a 12-point bump to 983. Jackson Sullivan, one behind on 982, stays level in third. Andy Davey, Middle-earth champion, gains 6 points to 975 and moves up 2 places to fourth. Conor McKinstry down 3 with a 14-point drop, rounds out the top 5. Ethan Stout, despite staying static on 971, is in 6th place. Vincent Wilson climbs into the top 10 from 11th with a 5-point bump to 969. David Keane and Mikey Yu tie in 8th place on 968, and Hemi Tiahafitu rounds out the top 10 with a 961 rated. We'll be doing this every month. We'll update you with the latest ratings. Over to the FPO division, and Liana Krostina leads the way with 887. That's 6 points up on February. Charlotte Dunkley getting a good boost of 11 points up to 859. Melody Ripley's rating has stayed the same at 836. And Liz Mocker, thanks to a strong round at Makaripi, Team Sweet Chains, Liz Mocker gets a 3-point jump to 832. In 5th and 6th place is Michelle Simpson and Nicholas Stout, both new to the top 10 with an 828 opening rating for them. Very well done. Stephanie Stridham takes a 7-point increase to 815, down 2 places in 7th. New to the top 10 in 8th place is Linga Fiula with 808 ratings points. And in 9th place is Sue Brown on 796. And Jennifer Joint rounds out the top 10 with 794. We expect that to get very competitive over the next few weeks as tournaments come thick and fast, not least Nationals, which we'll be previewing a little bit more detail next week at Paradise. So look out for that. Now, something that we wanted to talk about in terms of upcoming events is the Women's Global event. Now, if you're not sure about what this is, or it sounds a bit new, then this is an event that is it's an initiative run by the PDGA that attempts to get lots of women's tournaments played all around the world on the same day, all competing against one another. But really, it's more focused towards getting as many people playing on that one day and making a bit of a festival, worldwide festival as you can. Now, there are 2 events being run in New Zealand currently. There's one up in Auckland being run by Charlotte Dunkley. So if you're around Auckland or the top of the North Island around early May, then get in contact with her. She's running an event where there's player packs that you can get involved with if you want. I think she's doing some t-shirts possibly, and it'll be run at Henderson Park. So a great park to get started with. Speak to Charlotte Dunkley if you want to get involved. If you can't find her, you can always get in contact with us and we'll point you in the right direction. The second one is in Wellington, which will be on the 8th of May as well. And that's being run by Paula Wilson from RPM. And so she's going to be running the tournament in Harcourt Park, and there'll also be players packs and all sorts of goodies during that. So look out for the Facebook event that will be set up for both of those tournaments coming soon. And also, if you want to get involved, then please do get along to either of those events and go and play some great disc golf. Next up is a little chat about BTs, which is a little bit of a contentious subject. But before we do, I'm going to bring in my guest tonight, Team Sweet Chain and Discmania trialist and tournament director for Middle-earth Open, Brady Cush. Welcome, Brady, to the show.
Hey, Matt. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well. So, fallout from Middle-earth. What's happened since the tournament finished?
I was going to say, I don't think there's any fallout this year, which is really good. It was received really well. Most of the players really enjoyed it. We've started to have Flexline media coverage has come out, so the feature card has already landed.
It has. That was released yesterday evening. If you haven't seen it already, head over to the Flexline YouTube channel. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, hit the bell, because you're going to want to, because the lead card footage drops pretty soon.
Yes. Rumor has it might drop tomorrow. Sorry if this puts the pressure on you, Chris. But yes, it should be out in the next 24 to 48 hours. So keep your eyes out for that.
Yeah, I mean, we were recording the commentary literally 20 minutes ago. So, like, it's hopefully going to drop very soon. So check out that. The lead card action is fantastic, particularly the back nine. But watch it from the beginning. It's fascinating stuff. Fascinating stuff. Now there was a note that came out from New Zealand Disc Golf earlier on. I think it was about a week ago now,
yep,
about the use of BTs and whether players who played off BTs because they played in a division that played off BTs would be or should be eligible for New Zealand Disc Golf Tour points. This drew a little bit of discussion within the community. We saw several posts of people engaging in and providing their thoughts. What's your view on it?
Oh, geez. Put me on the spot. Thanks, Matt. No, so it's one of those for me. So like having just run the Middle Earth Open, I ran it with BTs. In the past, how New Zealand runs tournaments and that kind of stuff, everyone who competes in the tournaments gets points. If you do well in like multiple tournaments throughout the year, you're awarded points and you can finish in the top 20. Mm-hmm. It used to be the top 16. I think it's been extended now to the top 20. Might even be 32, depending on, like it's now the like New Zealand Disc Golf Festival that kind of comes at the end of the year. I don't know if it's quite the New Zealand Disc Golf Festival, Disc Golf Celebration. It's gone under a few names, comes up at the end of the year. It's typically a match play event. And so you gain points for that. And then depending on you get points for how well you play in tournaments. You also you can have divisional winners. Mm-hmm. So, like if you're the highest rated in those like national points, you get, like you've won Masters, so you get a little trophy, or you won like Grandmasters, so you get a little trophy, or you've won Open, so you get a little trophy. And typically it comes into all of that. And so people have been using BTs, or I think they've also been called alternate tees. Yeah. So if you run with alternate tees, and usually what's happened is, even if you run off an alternate tee, say, like you're a Grandmasters player, you're a women's player, a juniors player, you still kind of like filter into like the grand stack of a tournament, kind of towards the bottom. So like they don't give you a great advantage, and you can still kind of enjoy the tournament as it were, playing from like maybe less risky tees or more speed of play tees as compared to everyone playing the same tee. And so for Middle Earth, like is a great example as a guinea pig this year. I knew that I because of the course and how the course is designed, that I wanted to have BTs. So the only people that played the long tees were the open players. And there were a few advanced players who stepped up and played open because they wanted to play the big tees. Mm-hmm. There's a person like yourself who won advance, and you won advance from the short tees. Mm-hmm. And so in the grand scheme of New Zealand Tour points, the open players played for 50 points, and the amateur players, the advanced players, paid for 40 points. And so, like, I don't think, like, there's too much issue with that. I think, like, it's a bit of teething. It's the first year that that's ever happened. Like, Rotorua and Middle Earth are the first events of the year. They're the first time that it's been separated. Normally, if you play in, say, Harcourt Park, Queenstown Gardens, like Jelly Park, most people are playing from the same tees. And so, like, it's not an issue. And so I think it's a little bit teething, like it's coming from, it used to be that New Zealand was gauged by age protected divisions. Mm-hmm. And then it's not that way anymore. Now it's skill-based divisions. Like you have juniors players in open, you have masters players in open, you have, like open players, or you just have general people playing advanced or rec. And rec isn't just, I'm going to come out and play one round on the weekend. Rec is, I'm going to compete in like an MA2, an MA3 division.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the difference. Now, from my point of view, now I've not been playing disc golf a whole heap. There's probably the vast majority of the viewers have been playing longer than I have. I'm just a very, very incredibly average disc golfer, and I really
one MA1 guys just won his first event. Don't let him tell you otherwise.
Look, an incredibly average disc golfer, and yet I really enjoy being able to pick my own division and go, oh, do you know what? I want a division where I want to be competitive. I want a division where I'm going to get to practice perhaps being on a lead card and perhaps the pressure that you might feel in being on a lead card. But if I was to step up to Open, I mean, let's be honest, I'm going to be 10 shots behind the leaders on each round, right? So I think that, and given that I'm going to be playing in that division, or at least I've chosen to play in that division, the PDJ can work out my rating to make sure that that it works okay, and the fact that I actually want to make it feel as if that I'm having an impact on New Zealand Disc Golf Tour. I want to be able to see my name on a leaderboard and all that kind of stuff, because I can't like that kind of thing. I think it would be a shame to take that away from the advanced players like myself, the rec players, the ladies who might end up playing off alternate, or might I say more suitable tees.
Mm-hmm.
And so my view is that I really hope that wherever the New Zealand Disc Golf Board go with this, I really hope that they can come to a conclusion that means that we can continue to have tournaments that play off appropriate tees for appropriate divisions of appropriate skill levels and arm speeds in some instances, but that we also have at the same time a format that allows them to compete on a national level across the course of the whole season, perhaps against people who are in their same peer group, right? So perhaps against, if I was to win my advanced division, I get so many advanced points. If I then go and play the open division, those advanced points are no good in the open division. Mm-hmm. They just count in the advanced division. And I'm sure that's an opinion that has been floated around. We've got a few comments. Let's go to, and if you do have a comment on this, then please leave it. I'll go to Bray first up, who says, there's been a lot of hoo-ha in the States currently with the Memorial having B tees, and the ratings were implemented if they had played off the regular tees. Ooh. Thoughts on this? Now, personally, I think that you should be rated on the tee that you play. So I didn't mind the fact that although at Middle Earth, and I think this is what you're getting at, Bray, if I'm wrong, then tell me. At Middle Earth, I wasn't rated as if I'd shot 7 down on the champ tees. I was rated as if I'd shot 7 down on the B tees, along with all the people who played on the B tees, all the other Masters players, the advanced players, etc. I don't expect my rating to reflect what might have happened had I played on the alternative tees, because I didn't. And so I think that's, I'm not quite sure that I agree with what they've done there. I think that as far as PDGA ratings are concerned, your rating should just be based on the course you play on, and hopefully there's enough propagators within that pool to give you a robust rating, and hopefully that carries on. So, I mean, any further thoughts?
Well, I think the big thing is that Matt and I are but 2 members of the NZDG, and the NZDG is not a board, it's a membership, we all have a voice. We all have opinions. Thank you so much, Bray, for commenting. Thank you, Matt, for having an opinion. Thank you to the people who are there at the call tonight. It's one of those, if you have a say, make sure your voice is heard. Big, massive shout out to Alan Gorthy. He's currently the NZDG president. He's very receptive and he's listening to us as members, but if you have a say something. So I don't think this debate is over. They're currently still taking feedback. Make sure, respond to that email, talk to Alan, reach out to us.
Yep.
Reach out to Matt and Sweet Chain and that kind of stuff. We can forward it on for you if you'd like us to do that. But yeah, if you have an opinion, if you have a say on it, please chime in. We would love to hear from you. I'm sure NZDG would. Yep. At the meeting tonight, Alan was totally responsive. So yeah. Make sure you have your say. Make sure you are heard. We are not individuals. We are a group. We are all in this club together. Yeah,
and I don't think this is over. At least I hope it isn't. I hope that they can carry on the conversation. As I said, I think there's a middle ground that gets that ticks a lot of the boxes. I think the alternate tees is strong, and that is really good for getting new players into disc golf. And also having them have a good first tournament experience, right? I would imagine that I don't have the stats, but I'd imagine that the number of players who play their second tournament compared to people who just play one, I reckon if you probably play 2, you probably play 3 or 4 or 5, and you carry on playing, right? Mm-hmm. I don't suspect. But if you play 1 and you don't play 2, then that, you might not come back again.
Yeah.
And you might also fall off as a bit of a social player as well.
But no, the debate is not over. Make sure you have your say. Feel free to ask out and like that kind of stuff. But I do know, Matt, you wanted to ask me more about the Discmania stuff.
Yeah. So last week we had a very big announcement, and thank you very much to Leon for joining us last week and making that announcement. So yeah, you got picked. You're through to the next stage, 1 of 10. So how did you feel when your name was read out? Because that's the first you heard of it, right? The first you heard of it,
I was following along with everyone. It was live. I talked about it a little bit with you, so you at least know that I applied. I can't thank you enough for having sponsorship, and I just agreed and signed up with you in February, and here I am in March, kind of being like, what does this mean? So it's been a fun space to navigate, and I have to give a shout out to I'm 1 in 10. There are 9 other guys that are kind of a part of this little team and selection process. There's a little bit of competition, but at the same time, we're rooting for each other.
Yeah.
And it's been great to kind of see the flood of support. And I really hope that I'm only speaking for myself. I'm hoping that all the other players get that same support around the country.
Yeah.
I've had Wellington come to my back being like, hey bro, I'm totally taking disc trades. This is all the Discmania that I got.
Yeah.
Is there anything you're interested in?
If you've got any Discmania that you don't throw at the moment, stick it on Facebook on an auction and you'll probably make a killing, right? It's
the disc swap trade sale, that kind of stuff is just exploding at the moment. I even think Johnny Ferrari, whose team Innova, who's been on the show before, was bidding on a Doombird that's for sale in Auckland. He's from Invercargill. So just Discmania is going nuts at the moment.
Yeah.
It's one of those, but it's a really fun opportunity.
Yeah.
And so, I learned about it at the same time. I'm really excited for it. There's been kind of a lot of hard work that's gone into, theoretically what got me selected is the 1 in 10. And so hopefully I can just kind of continue on that trend, continue to play this year. Hemi, congratulations on making 10th spot. You got me by about 10 ratings points. Give me another month and I might jump up. Hopefully nationals, I'll do well down there. But yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, it's great to see, and it's fun. It's an opportunity that I'm happy to have.
And look, we're as Team Sweet Chain, I'm very pleased that you've got this opportunity. I think as we've talked about before, this opportunity is great for disc golf in New Zealand, and it pulls the top end of the sport up, which I think will only benefit everybody who plays disc golf in the long run. So well done. If you're 1 of the 10, then congratulations. I really look forward to seeing how you get on. So I want to hear from you. If you're 1 of the 10 and you want to be on the show, you want to tell your story about where you've got to, how you've got to where you are today, and also what your plans are to try and secure one of those coveted top 4 spots by the end of the year. Then let us know. Get in contact. Well, I'm seeing the comments thread is blowing up a little bit about BTs. So look, what I'm keen to do is I'm keen to carry on this discussion. But I tell you what, if you're somebody who's got a relatively strongish opinion about this, and you want to be on the show, and we can have maybe some different viewpoints from some different people, then please get in contact, and we'll look to maybe next week do a little bit of a debate and see if we can give people who might be sat on the fence or aren't too sure about this a little bit of more information to be able to make their mind up. So if you've got if you feel strongly about this, then please drop us a line. We'd love to have you on the show. So the week after next, you've mentioned it just now, is Nationals down in Paradise.
It's next week.
It's a week.
I leave a week today.
A week today. Wow. So that's come around pretty quick. So we are very much looking forward to it here. We're going to be doing more of a preview next week. We'll be previewing some of the course and also speaking about who we think might be playing well. It looks like there's over 100 players playing already. So if there's still space and you want to get involved, then get involved. It's going to be absolutely fantastic by the looks of it. Unfortunately, I'm not able to make it myself, but I will be watching very closely what the results, and I'll also be in touch with all of the Team Sweet Chain guys to see how they're going. And obviously, Grady, I wish you very best of luck.
Thank you very much,
in
Matt.
Paradise next week. So that about wraps it up for today's show. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back next week with maybe a little bit more of a discussion on the BTs. It's something which I don't think is going to go away very quickly, but we'll see. Otherwise, there's Peter Crofer, which still has spots left in April. This is going to be my first South Island tournament, so I'd love to meet you there. Get down to Christchurch. On the weekend of April the 10th and 11th. Other than that, I'll see you next week. Take it easy.